Now we live in Port Orchard, so it's this climate. I mean, that's why when I saw your video, I was like, oh, let's go right now today. Okay, I have to wait 3 days. Fine, I'll wait 3 days. But I mean, I was ready to come. What is perfect for us to grow there?
This is what I'm growing here. Same place. You can do everything I'm doing here. You can do that.
Okay.
And again, if you're outside paying attention, just you're walking around, if you're just sensitive, now this is a nice warm spot. You know, you're like, well, it's warmer here than over there. Well, then you plant warmer, cucumbers and stuff you want. This is a cool spot. Well, then you plant cilantro in the summer so it doesn't bolt. So there's all these little spaces, little microclimates you have benefits for certain types of plants.
But some of the, like, there's, I don't know, 4,000 different types of corn or something like that.
Well,
I mean, is there...
Heirloom, that's key. That'll eliminate about more than
3,000.
3,000. Yeah. More than 3,000. And then you want to go with early varieties because it's not hot here. This is not the Midwest, so you got to have early. Because if you don't have early, they won't ripen. So read the label, and whatever fits your taste buds sounds good to you.
So we're looking for early and heirloom.
And heirloom.
For like
heirloom
anything,
is across
beans,
the line.
peas.
Nothing without heirloom. But for early, for where you live, you want stuff that's going to be early, not like a late corn because they won't ripen here. It's not, we don't have enough heat.
What if do we need to start anything inside?
If you want to start stuff inside, it's okay. What I find with things started inside, I'll just use this and plant this shit. Remember this.
Yeah.
You can spend a fortune for these plants you buy inside. They look beautiful. You set them outside because they're growing inside. They're already very weak and very. They set back. I planted seeds next to plants I bought and watched the seed pass. Because you see, it's already hardened off. It's adjusted to this environment. You bring something outside. When we bring it outside, it's just totally going to shock it to pieces and it won't grow. So my experience is, this is where you're going to live, buddy. Let's face it, let's get going. So now tomatoes and peppers, you got to grow inside because you can't, it's not a long, so there's a few things you have to, but everything else I plant right outside of the seed. Because it's, it looks advanced. And I've got grapes, right, there's grapes, and I got some over there. Interlaken is the only one I know that gets ripe here, and that comes from Rain Tree Nursery. Interlaken, it's a nice green, seedless grape, very good. The grapes do wonderful.
What about, because I'm going to be in South Dakota, and there are a lot of plants there that I just don't know if they're going to...
What you want to do is go to local people who have their head on their shoulders.
Well,
go to the Amish.
They're not. They're growing potatoes and they're growing gourds and watermelon.
Or open pollinated. If they're hybrid, they don't produce seed after their own kind. There will be a weird thing, and the genetically modified isn't even want to talk about it. It's just totally poison. So find seed catalogs that are heirloom. There's one that just came out called Heirloom Solutions of back east, and it's all heirloom. And when you buy those seeds, for the rest of your life with semi-diligent, you have free food because those plants will produce seed again, and you can collect that seed, and you'll always have seed. And you see, I collect my own kale seed. When I found my seed, they're bigger than what I buy in the store, and they come up faster. And the reason is because they're healthier.
Yeah.
Obviously, my stuff is healthier than the stuff that other people are growing. So it's going to produce healthier seed. Just do the math.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get my vegetables at Nash's. This is much more robust than his.
Yeah. And you see, poor Nash still tells.
Yeah.
He doesn't understand. You don't have to disturb the ground. See, this is the way he was raised. But I was telling you, this is. You know how I got into it? I didn't have water.
Yes.
And so I was forced. I had no option. I had to force to go back to nature and see how to do it.
What a gift.
It was, I tell you, that lousy well was one of the greatest I ever got because it opened me up to this incredible gift we have in nature, and I would never have gone back. This is an awesome well here. You get 20 gallons a minute. If I had this up front, you wouldn't be here today. I'd still be tilling. And I'm thankful for that because it opened me up. It forced me to go back and discover what has been happening in nature.
That's brilliant. I love that story.
Through it. It was just like this. So this material is able to dispose of 15 feet of water.
Yeah, just really.
So you see, there's no issues. This is why I love you. You see, my potatoes love water. So I tell you, if you want potatoes, find the wettest, funkiest place you have in your place.
Really?
Cover the wood chips, and you'll grow potatoes the rest of your life. You won't be irrigated. It'll be a benefit. So now the swamp has been a negative, becomes very acid, because now you have available water. But in the wood chips is not an issue because it creates airspace. And
just planted.
Could I bury that thing with wood chips and start planting potatoes in it. And
right in the wood chips.
Right in the
raw wood chips right now.
It's okay. I would put a layer down to the water's all absorbed.
Yeah.
And put the potatoes on top of that wood chips and 4 6 inches over that.
Yep.
You have the best seeds you ever had, and then next year plant the same place for the rest of your life. I mean, it's just so cool.
Yeah.
And when you plant, listen, here's how you plant. It's like my garlic over there and the potatoes, they create their own seed.
Yeah.
The food is a seed. So
Yeah.
take your finest, I take my biggest garlic,
Yeah.
I plant back. Because I'm
Biggest
upgrading my
one.
seed stock.
Yeah,
I keep
yes.
making,
Yes.
this is what I'm saying, the potatoes I bought from Sunny Farms 26 years ago before it was a store. It was on it was a little farmer's roadside fruit stand.
Yeah.
Are bigger and nicer than the ones I bought because I keep planting my best back, improving my seed
Instead
stock.
of taking the big ones, yeah, you
Yeah,
keep those.
you know, because when you eat it, your body doesn't care about the size.
Right.
So you,
It's just here.
it's all here.
Yeah.
And so use this to say, I want to improve what I have. So put the best back. It's like you're putting money in the bank. It's an investment,
Yeah.
and keep improving your seed stock.
Yeah.
And the same with your plants. Your healthiest plants, use those for seed.
Yeah. Oh man.
I'm excited.
Now,
Can you
for
look at the chickens?
You can
or-
look at anything
Okay.
you want. And as you walk by there, pay attention to all the sog and water in your feet.
Okay.
Because you're
Yeah.
going to be blown away. And when you get back on that place,
Yeah.
there won't be any. You can see how nice and dry it is on top. When you walk, I mean, I got standing water out here.
Yeah, this is my
It's
yard.
standing water.
I know,
And
this is
you look at
gorgeous, but
over there with the chickens, there it's totally awesome. It's like, God, it's just so
Where's
Look
the
at the
potatoes
chickens.
and the
Come on, look
garlic?
at the chickens.
But
We'll be right back,
potatoes,
yeah.
potatoes are down there at the orchard, and the garlic is right there in my orchard. There's little 3 rows of garlic coming up. You see those green? The potatoes they're not coming out of the ground yet. They're so.
what's on this fence line here?
Those are sequoia trees.
Sequoia, what's that?
Sequoia is an evergreen that grows in California. It's a redwood.
He's talking about.
No, just
Oh,
right
these
here.
are raspberries. Raspberries, wonderful raspberries. Oh, really good. Delicious, just good. And raspberries are really good for us. It's great food.
Yeah, somebody is actually going to give me some raspberry plants.
Wonderful. Yeah. So what you got to contain them because they won't stand up on their own. So you got to put a rail like that with some wires to hold them up. And
Okay.
in the fall, what you ate last year, you cut all out, and then the new ones come back because you have to prune them every year because they only bear 1 year.
Okay.
These canes only bear 1 year, and so after they're done in the fall, you cut all the old ones off right at the base. The new ones will come back and it just keeps reproducing.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I haven't got them yet.
it's a wonderful food. And again, when you put them down, just barren wood chips, good wood chips around them, and you're good. And come walk on it, because you can't hurt anything. This is what's so cool about eat that fennel. That lady in the show was just she was so blown away. She's
I know, right? It takes a second, but then you're like, oh my God, that's so
Oh, I
sweet.
love
Eat that fennel,
I
man.
love
That-
fennel.
And remember that lady? She says, my fennel doesn't taste like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, grab. You just stand them. You just help yourself. Go for it. Just take it right down. Come right back.
Whoa. That's amazing.
And that's how food should taste. Food should just be
Absolutely.
a real pleasure to eat and enjoy.
So with the strawberries, you're saying,
I just bury the see, and under there, there's a whole bed of strawberries there. This is all strawberries, solid strawberries in here. And you know,
How far down are
we'll just go down. You'll find them. You see look how wet that is.
they? Unbelievable.
This holds the water like it's on. See, the leaves are all rotted by now, but there's
Just keep going.
there's plants in there.
I ran into, well, no. Maybe.
Well, she won't be
Come
here.
on, you're putting us on. Paul.
You come back here in April,
Okay.
next month.
Okay.
So all the little plants just pop up everywhere. It's so cool.
okay,
And
so
they come
like
totally
in
staggered.
the fall, you
In
cover
the
it.
fall, you cover it because see all the leaves underneath here now has become good fertilizer. So that you want to fertilize berries in the fall, winter, as well as the wood chips are created. And in the spring, you see all the old weak ones just rot and die under there, and just the young healthy ones come up, totally staggered, not crowded. And you saw in that film. I mean, this at the end of the growing season, they're totally lush green, just gorgeous.
Yeah.
And it's
Dripping.
It's this.
Yeah, with moisture.
And like I said, and compared to the hours of fitting, it takes like 20 minutes just to dump, spread these wood chips over here. Just well, you know, like you can see see here. This is a strawberry plant.
Did you taste this?
See here?
Mhm.
See the strawberries? This is strawberry. You know, see, I just pulled the root out.
Yeah.
They're all here.
Yeah.
And when it gets,
It is.
isn't it cool?
It's
and it's
incredible.
totally wet.
I am
Your mind says it's soap and wet, and it's not. It's just warm, and there's airspace.
So it doesn't rot. I mean, it doesn't like get
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It just doesn't have any of the issues
No.
that you have in mud. I just love it, man.
And they're making magic in there.
And you
I
can see,
gotta say.
oh, and you see all that, all my yard waste. Listen.
Part of our backyard is like on a slope. It's a little bit steeper than that and a little bit taller. Would strawberries be good for something
and you'll
like
grow
that?
everything. You see, the advantage of wood chips is they don't move. Look at the hills out there. I mean, these mountains, nothing goes, because of the cover. So it's not a problem. So all those spaces, and again, as you're there, if you just spend time walking around and thinking, you'll get intuition. You'll just like, oh, this would be a great place to plant that. As you walk into places, and this is shady, then shade plants. Just all those spaces provide optimum opportunity that work perfect for certain things. So as you're on the place, you just you spend some time, really just checking it out. You watch on warm days where it's the warmest. That's where you plant your warm vegetables, cucumbers, corn, things like that. And then in the cooler spaces, like cilantro is such a powerful, wonderful food, but it bolts in the summertime when it's hot. It goes to seed right away. So if you have shady places, see, under my trees I plant broccoli and cilantro all summer, so it stays shaded, so it stays nice. So again, all these places have an advantage under the wood chipsy because they're usable, which is a tremendous asset to you. So, and the slope is so awesome. You see this whole pasture, I'm telling you, is so well supported from what's just coming off of there. And if I'd been on a level, I wouldn't have that. So this is an asset.
I noticed the same thing kind of back here too.
You can see why. You see how thick and green this is compared to that? Because what's in front of it? The chicken pen. So all this stuff seeps in, and just look at how dark green that is. I mean, it's like over the top.
Yeah.
And it's because of this influence, and again, you look at this, you can't argue with the effect. I'm not doing anything. I didn't do this. This has just happened naturally, And again, what I love about it is just the side effect. I mean, this is just the I still get major tops, I get all kinds of benefits, just enough excess to feed my entire pasture, You look at the color of that grass. I mean, you don't have to be a rocket science to know that, man. That is good. I'm not fertilizing. I'm not watering. I don't irrigate. This just happened all this from this stuff.
Well, that was one of the things I liked in your movie was something about like the Great Plains and stuff, and all this grass. It just looks like it's dead, but you get out there and you look at it, and there's just new life coming right out of it.
See, everything in nature feeds itself. All the leaves, all the grass, everything falls to the ground, rots, and feeds the next generation. It's just such a simple design, so basic, and here we're supposed to be intelligent beings and we don't get it. It's just so pathetic, because it's very, very simple. Yeah, the plants create their own food. I love it.
Like when all that stuff comes in the fall-ish.
And it goes for a while. Like I said, they start in September, and I don't get some ripe until like December. So I have a long, span there.
So when we come back, you can show me a little bit about how to collect the seeds.
Well, the seeds are like kale is biannual. That means it takes 2 years to collect seed. The advantage of that kale right now is that was planted last September. What it's going to do in a little bit, it's going to start creating seed heads. And what's so awesome about it, this is my favorite time of year, these little seed heads look like broccoli heads. And they taste like broccoli. So I'm like crazy picking these things just to eat them because they're so good. But eventually I can't keep up because they get ahead of me. And then those broccoli heads open up, turn into yellow flowers. And then from the yellow flowers, they create these little seed pods that are green. And then over time, they'll dry. And about August, I'll pick them. They're almost dry because if we wait too long, they'll stay outside and they'll open up and fall out. And I'll pick them. I'll put them in a big bag in here inside my shed and dry them. I'll take them. I'll show you what they look like. And then I have seeds. So what I do, I don't raise seed here because I really like to keep my food coming. So at my place in Swim, that rental place, that's where I raise my seed because you see, to get seed from kale, you got to go 2 years.
You said that's on Kendall Road.
Yeah,
right?
Kendall Road. Yeah.
I want to go drive by there.
And so I'm there. Yeah, and you'll see because I'll have all those wood chips in the backyard because it's dump all the wood chips. But anyway, so I have a separate place just for seed production because it takes time to develop the seed. And now the potatoes, the seed, the garlic seed, those are no problem.
Right.
But for other things, for greens, you have to wait for them to flower, then develop the seed. So it takes sometimes 2 years, kind of thing. So you have to allot space for that to happen. Too fast. I'll give you an example. I have, and I left it last year because I had some people coming. I have a plum tree out here in the orchard, a dwarf plum tree. It's 7 years old. that I had root suckers. You know, roots will go out and they send those little suckers up. I had root suckers 24 feet from the trunk on a dwarf tree in 7 years. This is insane. They graft in the rootstock to keep the tree small, so the roots don't develop. And mine in 7 years grew 24 feet. But it's like these trees are saying, I'm not going to stop growing in this. This is awesome, man. They can't contain themselves. So I say your challenge is going to be try to keep it, you know, don't believe the books. You know, you can plant them 10 feet apart. I mean, I got my trees planted 15 feet apart. And in April, I mean, in September, they're all touching. They grow 4 to 6 feet a year. It's just like I say, my challenge is trying to contain this stuff. It's just like, whoa.
So do you have to go down and cut roots or something?
I'm not cutting anything. I'm just letting it go. But I'm cutting the tops. You see how thin those trees are?
Right, and how small everything is too.
I do that intentionally just to reduce my amount of fruit. Everybody else is trying to increase theirs. I'm trying to hold it back. So I open my trees up so I can be able to contain all I'm getting here. You know? So it's just so hilarious.
And you were saying earlier that you don't pick, you just let the fruit fall, and once it falls, then it's ready.
Then you know it's ripe. And you see, let me tell you something powerful. This is what's so scary about our food in the stores, besides it being toxic. When you buy apples in the stores, you see the enzymes that cause it to ripen don't happen until 7 to 10 days before it gets ripe. When they pick all the fruit green, they do it intentionally because you see there's no bird bites in it. See, nothing in nature eats unripe food except the human race. Track with me. Insects do. And you look, cherries. Those cherry trees will sit there, and as soon as they're ripe, the birds come and they're gone in a day because they know when they'll wait until they get ripe. But we won't eat unripe food because we're supposed to be smart, but we're not. Anyway, because the enzymes are not in the apples you buy, say they pick them greens, the enzymes aren't present, they put them in a cooler with nitrogen fixed, bring the color so they look nice. When you eat them, there's no flavor and there's no enzymes. So your body has to deal with this. See, all food is supposed to have enzymes in it to help it digest. So when there's no enzymes, the body has to go track somewhere else to get enzymes to break this down. So instead of that apple being a positive benefit for your body, it now is a negative. It's taking away from you. This is so scary about how we're living. And we pay money for this dead food.
Right.
Kind of thing. Where when they have the enzymes there, it's immediately digestible, major nutrition, and so when they're falling off the tree, I know they're ripe. Enzymes are all present, so it's the ultimate. And because they're close to the ground, they land on the soft stuff, they don't bruise, and it's so convenient to walk around and just picks up off the ground, it's ripe. Instead of like, is this ripe? You don't have to mess with it. So it's just, and again, I have so much. I'll just give you, my walk-in cooler is full. I had a guy come in here last year, he was wanting to make cider. He said, man, I've been to all my old friends' house, had these trees. Everybody was rude to me this year. They wouldn't give them to me. He says, oh, help yourself. So he had his two little buckets. When he saw it was on the ground, he's taking these buckets and just dumping in the back of his truck, man. It's filled the whole back of his truck up. And you couldn't even tell he was there. I have that much. It's just so awesome. You know?
Now, would you ever cut down the cherry tree like you do your apple trees?
Well, you can't keep a cherry tree small.
Has to be big.
Yeah, and they lie to you. See that's a semi-dwarf there. It's only 18 years old. Come on.
We have a big cherry tree there.
Yeah, it's huge, and it's just, like you were saying, that we never get to the good cherries because they're gone before we realize that there's cherries there.
You know, prune it open, open it up, kind of a thing, and then pay attention and get your ladders out there, and when they're ripe, go for it.
I think 1 year.
We got a couple.
Cherries are so good. They're good for us.
They're pie cherries.
Okay.
So
yes, I got nice black ones. I mean, these are really good, delicious. And I tell you, my challenge is, what's so scary about cherries? I'll just be real upfront here. When you eat an apple, it's pretty good size and you kind of full. Cherries, because they're little, you don't know when to stop. I got to run to the bathroom. I'm just get one more. And all of a sudden, man, because I don't know when to stop because they're so darn good.
We bought cherries last year from Eastern Washington.
The people that bring them over.
25 pounds of cherries, yeah. We just kept eating one at a time, and
yeah, they're little. You just don't know when to stop. Because and they're so good when they're on a tree like this and they're ripe. They're so good.